when I do my videos, I know it's like, man, I got to compete against the cat video. I got to compete against the booty shaking video. Whatever Trump said crazy last week, it's a whole thing of like attention real estate. You feel me? It's all about location, location, location. But if you don't think when you hit that post button, you ain't competing for attention, then you out of there. You feel me? You already starting behind the 8 ball. It's probably why the content ain't that good. I'm on a timeline. When you're on your timeline, you gotta think about how you be scrolling. You feel me? What make you scroll and what make you stay? How do I make it where shit matters? And how do I make it where at the end of the video you feel like you left with something? But at the very beginning though, how do I get their attention? How am I able to do little small things in the first, man, my mind, I think about it, I got 0.3 seconds to really make you be like, what's this? And then I got like 3 seconds for you to be like, all right, I'm seeing this person talking about. And my mind subconsciously, by that 3 second mark, you already for sure made a decision if you're gonna watch this video to see what it's about or if you're gonna go to the next thing.
It is Freedom Friday and you are still not free.
Welcome to another episode of Freedom Friday. It is Friday and you are still not free, but hopefully you will be freer after this hour with Ish, Sharif, and me. Today we have a very special guest, it's Conscious Lee, from many things, from the classroom, from education, from the NAACP Image Award, from 2.6 million followers on TikTok with a crazy number of likes and people paying attention to his platform and to the work that he does as an educator online. Very interested in talking to you, brother, today because you are a model of something that we are very interested in, which is how can teachers and educators be public educators, not just public school educators, but public educators. And what's the use of the platforms that we have right now to be able to educate much wider groups of people. Watching you on your TikTok, I've been following for a while and I learned something in minutes.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
3 minutes, I will learn more than I knew. And then I can feel like I don't have to read for the rest of the day. Just kidding. Just kidding. Y'all read. Keep reading. So, brother, welcome. Good to see you.
Thank y'all for having me, man. Thank y'all for having me. I always love educational conversations with Black men because, it's not a lot of us that, take. I feel like there's not a lot of us that have access. There's not a lot of us that are inspired or empowered by it. But there are also a lot of resources out there that allow for, I think, brothers to come into the space, man. So I always love being, you feel me, and having these conversations.
How did education become your thing? How did that become the thing that you would follow?
I think very early on in the classroom, I was able to have my safe space. In terms of feeling like my mind was being cared for. And I feel like the classroom was why the first time I felt like I was seen as a being and not a doer. And I think that for me, because I was neurodivergent very young, but I just learned it now. But now looking back, it's like I was very neurodivergent very young with ADHD and things like that. So I think that I had a very a kind of over-identification in many different instances with like the pedagogical process, and it made me feel alive. I've always been kind of argumentative. I was what I call when I was young, I was a loud learner. So if I was able to feel like I was being a participant, an active participant in the learning, you know what I'm saying? I felt like it was good. And I feel like very, very, very early, I had different teachers that was able to see that I was trying to break cycles and able to see that I had, a very, spunky personality, you feel me? And they really believed in me. I really, really fell in love with education when I walked on to the debate team, though, at the University of Oklahoma. I was a policy debater. I did cross-ex. And through me climbing the ranks of debate and then being able to be invited to other universities to teach the high school kids in the summertime, different debate tactics, art, different literature bases, different strategies and stuff like that. That's when I learned and really understood that I love being in the classroom and I love teaching and I love learning. I already knew I loved learning, but I didn't realize I loved teaching until I got the opportunity to really be a part of that process and being able to see and embody the educator that I wish I had in many instances, but also I feel like going to a PWI and them trying to prove they ain't racist in many different instances, they kind of let an N-word get away with a lot, you know what I'm saying? So I was able to, you feel me? I really feel like cultivate my own space and place, but just being very, very, very straightforward,
You had a breakthrough as a debater. I remember reading something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but you and a partner had a big win at some point.
Yeah, we
What was
broke
that
history,
about?
man. Me and my debate partner were the first Black team to go undefeated at the national debate tournament, and my debate partner was the first person to win. He was the first Black person to win the #1 speaker at the national debate tournament. And this is like a 60 something annual. I think when I was there, it was like 68 annual type thing. But it's like Harvard and Dartmouth and USC and man, pretty much big schools being it, you feel me? And a Black person had never won. So me and my debate partner, we used to spit poetry and raps in our constructive speeches. And then we would always mess the white people head up, but we would go back into rebuttals and then be able to impact the arguments out, be able to extend the arguments, and then be able to repeat different bars from the rap or different parts of the poem, and be able to be like, "Hey, you just said I didn't answer your 15 pieces of evidence. I had like 16 bars. I made some arguments about police brutality. I made some arguments about identity politics. I made some arguments about, and you ain't answer none of them. This the impact of this one. This the impact of this one. You lose. Goodbye. Bring the next component on. You feel me? And that's how we was washing them up. You feel me? So by my senior year, we had figured out how debate works so good that we was like #3 in the country. You feel me? We lost a very controversial round, two very controversial rounds. You know what I'm saying? To what we could have been national champions, but the way we debated was different, and it brought in a lot of attention. You know what I'm saying? Brought a lot of visibility to the activity in different ways too, because we were very raw. He from East Oakland. I'm from Texas. We both locked up. We both got dashikis, and I got on my Jordans. He got on his, you know what I'm saying, his Bay Area, you feel me, type thing. And we was a force to be reckoned with.
What was the controversy?
We had a lot of controversies. The first controversy was our senior year. Our argument was war power should not be used against niggas. That was our argument. Our argument was literally war power should not be used against niggas. The topic for that year was the United States federal government should substantially decrease presidential war powers to introducing foreign things into hostilities, indefinite detention, targeted killing, and cyber attacks. You feel me? And shit. Instead of us picking just one part of the topic, we was like, you know what? We take all of it. War power shouldn't be used against niggas. We was washing them all year. You feel me? Because we was doing that though, we were putting a lot of white people in very, you know what I'm saying, sticky situations, because in order for you to answer my argument, you got to use my language, but you can't say nigga though. You know what I'm saying? So we really so we making arguments though, like making rhetorical arguments about the power in the word of nigga, but also talking about it as it being a war power and how war powers are always kind of happening to niggas, irregardless. And we're saying that in every instance, you feel me? We end up losing our round. We lost the semifinals round to Georgetown. I think it was a 3-4 decision. I had a rap using a Killer Mike rap, you feel me, about Reagan. It was like, you know what I'm saying, his Reagan shit. He got a bar in there where he talks about Muammar Gaddafi. The Georgetown people was like, shit, you rap about him? Is he a nigga? And cross-X basically. I'm like, yeah. Their argument becomes, that nigga should have been killed. You feel me? If y'all say Muammar Gaddafi is a nigga and you rapped about him, we think that nigga should have been killed. Here are the reasons why he should have been killed. You feel me? And we lost on a split decision because, you know, one more judge decided that, you feel me, that was what our argument was about, basically. You know what I'm saying? Or we didn't answer that argument good enough. You know what I'm saying? So that team ended up going to win their second national championship, and you know we lost in the semifinals. But me and my debate partner also we're Hall of Fame debaters from 2010 to 2020. You know what I'm saying? And being real, the debate activity is really how I started falling in love and started being exposed to all of the interdisciplinary, all of the intersectional analysis. This when I started learning about patriarchy and heteronormativity and white supremacy and socialism and American hegemony and, you feel me, international relations and spreading democracy and the visa system and like literally, because the topic changed every year. I debated 4 years, but then after I debated, I was a coach. As a coach, I won a national championship. You feel me? So I was around the activity for like a whole of 10 years. And in that 10 years, I was able to do so much and I learned so much. So when I make my content, I'm really able to think about when I was 21, 20, you feel me? And they was calling me a performance debater because I was performing my arguments. You feel me? When I do my videos, I know it's like, man, I got to compete against the cat video. I got to compete against the booty shaking video. I got to compete against the person with the, you know what I'm saying, the Jews. I got to compete against whatever Trump said crazy last week. And I know it's a whole thing of like attention real estate. You feel me? It's all about location. But if you don't think when you hit that post button, you ain't competing for attention, then you out of there. You feel me? You already starting behind the 8 ball. It's probably why the content ain't that good. Because you got to think about you. I'm on a timeline. When you're on your timeline, you gotta think about how you be scrolling, you feel me? What make you scroll and what make you stay? You know what I'm saying? So when I'm making my content, I'm thinking about it like, man, I might really care about fat phobia right now. I'm giving this intersectional analysis about how fat phobia disproportionately impacts Black women and how it has a power of white supremacy and how it comes from European. I like that. That's interesting to me. But it might not be interesting to the other person. So now I got to the people on the other side that's consuming my content. So for me, it's like, all right, how do I make it where shit matters? And how do I make it where at the end of the video, you feel like you left with something? But at the very beginning though, how do I get their attention? How am I able to do little small things in the first, man, my mind think about it. I got 0.3 seconds to really make you be like, what's this? And then I got like 3 seconds for you to be like, all right, I'm seeing this person talking about. In my mind, subconsciously, by that 3 second mark, you already for sure made a decision if you're gonna watch this video to see what it's about or if you're gonna go to the next thing. So, and when I was in debate, it was about like also the same thing. Like I'm trying to get the judge to evaluate my argument. And I'm trying to get the judge to evaluate what I said and really weigh it. I lost a lot when I walked on because I walked on to the debate team, you feel me? So when I walked on, I cried a lot and lost a lot and wanted to give up a lot because I was putting my body on the line every debate. Through me doing that though and putting so much on the line, I learned so much about everything. But yeah, now I'm talking a lot. My bad. You can ask questions. I'm saying the conversation. That my bad, y'all.
No, you ain't talking too much, bro. This is
this all good stuff.
Hey, Chris. This is listen. I'm gonna give Chris a little public critique here. Years ago, I said the dopest teachers could do almost anything else. Like when they're super dope. Consciously is an example of what I was talking about. They started like, well, can they build a rocket and go to the moon? They started clowning me, but I was just like, the things that a teacher has to, the way he described like what he's doing on social media, that's what the best of the teachers do, which is why it makes so much sense because that's what he's doing. He's made a different place a classroom and he's thinking about all these things. You walk in a room with a bunch of pubescent middle school boys, you better be thinking about all of this and relevant, and you want them to be smarter, stronger, faster, and aware when they leave you. So that's what I was talking about, like being able to critically think, problem solve, build relationships, all of those kind of things. It doesn't always cross in other pieces. So, you know what I mean? Like he reminded me, I've forgotten about it, but he reminded me of that conversation of like why, why the dopest teacher, and we see it transcend other places. Mama Fasaha, my former principal, when she watched our show on Malcolm, she said, you know what, you and Chris miss one of the things about Malcolm that I wish y'all would have highlighted. I was like, what is it? She was like, and we had talked about his intelligence, his brilliance, his debate skill. She's like, y'all forgot to mention he had some of the sharpest wit out there. And now Consciously was describing that. I'm like, yeah, he got so much wit that he's bringing to, even his description of getting disqualified. Like that's so witty to even be able to do that. So I'm just, bro, this is one of the reasons before I left the principal, I wanted a debate team. And I'm like, we didn't get one because we hadn't seen you yet. You know what I mean? Like we'd have been like, bro, you got to move to Philly. You know
Man, I love debate. I feel like if I had the dream set up, if I was able to run a debate team while being able to be Consciously, I would definitely sign. I would like, yeah, let's do it.
I think you're about to get a call from Philly.
You're about to call.
I think you're going to get a call from Philly.
Yeah. We're about to call you right after this, Joe. We can set that up.
Even as you were just talking about your pathway as a debater, I was thinking, man, we don't talk about how important, number one, the skill is, but two, how accessible it is as an activity for our young people.
Man.
Right? Like to be able to create an argument, to be able to defend an argument, to be able to like I watch your videos. Your videos are arguments, really, but they're so fast. You're so rapid fire. You need to slow down. I just need to tell you that because you just pop, 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 pop. You just be hitting
you
people.
heard him talk about his age when we first came on. So this is part 2 of that age thing he was talking about.
You got to slow down, man. Because like, listen, you put a lot in there, but it's like it's a skill that I don't think we talk enough about. It's a science also. And if I would be interested in what you learned by coaching debate and what lessons we might learn for young people about embedding that into the education that we give young people.
I had a very good debate coach, and when I first started coaching, I was in grad school. I have a master's in adult and higher education, and I have a master's in human relations. And because I was doing that study while I was debating, and I was also a former debater that walked on that was a novice, it made it where I understood that if my students didn't feel like they were alive when they were making those arguments, I wasn't finna win nothing, and they wasn't finna be that, much really invested. So I tried to really adopt a very Phil Jackson like you feel me approach when it came to letting my debaters do their thing and really giving them a space. I had some very, very, very great debaters that I won a national championship with. Darius White, may rest in peace, my former debater. He passed away recently. Um, but they were rock stars, man. They were superstars. And I feel like because I was a superstar in my own right when I debated, I understood what it was like. I need to give them space, but I also feel like I only needed to with them think about what I was good at and let them be what they good at. You know what I mean? And really just being able to approach teaching and debate and like coaching from a very like unorthodox position where like we having a conversation right now. Like instead of me trying to hop on like a dry erase board and do all this, I like to have conversations. I used to really challenge the pedagogical practices of the academy and of debate. So it made it where I was always being critical about colonialism, you feel me, imperialism, always being very critical about like aesthetics, you know what I'm saying, the black aesthetic, always being very intersectional in those aesthetics though. So because debate made it where I was so critical, I think I was able to really step outside the box and envision or imagine a different world that I wanted to be in when it came to like the learning process and when it came to teaching. And I feel like that's one of the things that was able to kind of get me out of the classroom. It's because once I seen that I had more value on social media and that I had more leniency to do what I want to do and kind of talk that shit how I want to on social media, it made it where I still get access to the classroom as consciously. People have booked me here, go there, go there, go there. But now I'm able to think about what I want to teach always already. You feel me? And it make it where, I'm able to build this classroom of, what I'm saying, of probably all together, somewhere around 4 million people. So it's like being able to cultivate that audience through, my motto is education is elevation. It's very empowering, but it's like I feel like I was able to do it through all of the quote unquote portable skills that I learned from my past lives. You know what I'm saying? When I was in high school, I was a promoter and advertiser. I was homecoming king, prom king, class president from small big town. My town had like
Wait,
70,000
slow
people.
down. How many things you just said? Because I'm gonna start hating you now. Well, how many
No,
things did you just say? Prom king. What else?
in high school, man, I was able to go from being a kid that was bullied, to go into a kid that was extremely loved. You feel me?
Oh.
And I think that in my life now, you feel me, I'm able to be very grounded because I'm able to experience so much. I'm a first generation college student. My mama and my daddy convicted felons. You know what I'm saying? I'm from around there. You see what I'm saying? So once I was able to kind of earn the respect of the people in the community, it made it easy for me to, you know what I'm saying, be able, because I was neurodivergent, I got put in, I'm a 90s kid. So the GT program got me. I got a lot of neurodivergent, you know what I'm saying, kid in the 90s. So because I was forced to be in those pre-AP classes, I was exposed to a lot, you feel me? So by the time I got in high school, I had learned how to bounce from circle to circle. I learned how to bounce from, you feel me, culture to culture, you feel me? Because I knew how to survive. I'm a survivalist, you feel me? Survival tactics was being matched very early. So by the time I was a senior, I was able to be homecoming king, prom king, class president, because I knew how to talk to so many different communities. And I knew how to make so many communities feel seen and heard at a very young age. When I'm throwing parties, my parties are big because I was a party promoter, you feel me, in high school. My parties are big because I know how to go to a group of people that I know people don't, you know what I'm saying? They see me as being popular. So that, man, George Lee made me feel popular. I'm definitely going to his party. And I personally invited you to come. I came and gave you. I want to see you there. Y'all want to see you out there. So I learned how to, I feel like, really touch people at a very young age. You feel me? Like how to be able to make you what you seen, you heard, you feel me? Like even though I was in a small town, all my like LGBTQ people in my school, none of them would be able to be like, man, that guy, he won't like that in high school. They'll be like, man, the way he is now, he was the same way in high school. So I was really able to be an ally. I didn't know that's what it was then, you feel me? But I knew how to be an ally and accomplice at a really very early age. And I knew how to challenge things at a very early age where people still like me. You know what I'm saying? And it made it where the life I live now, where it's like now I'm able to be this, I'm able to be this edgy person, but I'm able to do it with a little decorum. You know, I know that I'm country as hell, so I know I can ride the aesthetics of being country and being able to be articulate and being able to speak truth to power in a way where it might come with a little but it's with love and passion. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't coming with I'm not.
See,
I'm not.
is like the wop 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 and
Hey, what, man? Definitely trying to lay it on, bro. Trying to lay it on. Trying to like, you know, trying to, man. We live one time, man. We live one time. And my only goal is I was born December 9th, 1990, man. If I can make the world a better place than it was December 8th, 1990, I say I lived a pretty damn good life. And I say that, you know what I'm saying? If I can make other people feel alive, when I feel alive, I want people to feel that same alive that I feel, especially when it comes to education. So it's just like that's the goal I was trying to do. I want people to feel empowered. The activity of debate, I believe that every Black American, every person in the world, especially Black Americans, should be able to experience debate. I was able to debate against the most refined minds of my generation for 4 years, traveling the country. I'm going to this university, that university, that university. I'm building community with people from this city, this city, this city, this city. You know, I just learned so much.
Ish, what do you hear in all this, like implications for your social studies program?
He better be thinking
Philly.
about how he getting him to Philly. You know what I'm saying?
He got to get consciously to Philly. So
at least train debate coaches, at least train debate teacher, at the very least.
I mean, y'all on the same page as me, man. Like I am super excited to even hear about your story and the way you laid it out, and even the thought process behind where you at now. And the first thing that came to my mind, you from Texas, right? And up north we have this like mythology that you can't talk that stuff around them parts, right? So how do you navigate that? Number one, when you were a classroom teacher, right, spitting that truth. But number two, how do you do that now? Like, are there folks like that are sending you hate mail? Are there folks like targeting like what you're doing, like banning you in their classroom? Have teachers reached out to you for like saying, thanks for spitting that truth, I showed you to my class, but like at the same time, I can't really talk about it?
I showed you, now I'm fired consciously.
Yeah, all the above, man. Ish, everything you said, yeah, I experienced that. I originally started teaching at the University of Oklahoma, and I taught there for 7 years, and I was a public school teacher in Oklahoma City, teaching 9th and 10th grade English in Oklahoma City. Because at the time that I'm because I'm a skilled policy debater that understands policy, I'm in the classroom at the same time that Republicans are figuring out a way to masterfully pass all this legislation that demonizes diversity, equity, and inclusion, and demonizes a lot of the terminology that's like the base of how I learn how to communicate when it comes to academia. Privilege, power, domination, equity, diversity. These is words that's damn near criminalized. Because I'm coming up at that time, but I'm also coming up at during Trump presidency. My platform being built during Trump presidency. I done got doxxed before where a person posted my address trying to intimidate me. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I didn't have people, you know what I'm saying, contact the University of Oklahoma trying to get me fired when I worked there. You know what I'm saying? And then being real, what happened was, you know what I'm saying, I had a dude that tried to clown me, my wife, and my daddy on the internet by using our mug shots. When I was 19 years old, I went to jail I got caught with some marijuana. I was able to get the charges dropped to a Class C paraphernalia and able to make it where I was able to finish school and everything. I'm here, you know what I'm saying? But the dude was trying to, it was a Black conservative dude, was trying to clown me and oh, is this you consciously? Is this your baby mom? Oh, and this your dad. This is all it's our mug shots. It pissed me off so much. I'm in the classroom when I see it. So, you know what I'm saying? By this time, you feel me? I'm teaching at a Title I school. I'm teaching at a Title I school. So shit, if I get 5, 6 students in class, man, I had a great day. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? That day. So I'm finna do this, that, and the other. I will reward my students at the end of the, you know what I'm saying, the class. You feel me? Give them some time to themselves, man. You made the Mr. Lee class, man. Mr. Lee gone, you feel me? Just come back tomorrow. Come back. You know what I mean? At this time, I see the video. You feel me? I seen the video during I really had already seen the video during the what you call. So I'm really boiling the whole class, like pissed off. Like, my baby mama, man, that's my wife. You tripping. You don't. I make the video. I clap back at him inside the classroom. I'm smart on the policy where you can't see nothing around where I work at. You can't see no badge. You can't see nothing. The video go viral, and you know, a person came to talk to me. When they came and talked to me, it pissed me off so much because it's like, yeah, man, we liked your video, man, except for the part where you say, and that's on white supremacy. It's like,
except for that part.
that really, that's what echoed. Yeah. That's what echoed in my brain. Yeah. And for me, it's like, man, Mr. Lee, you did not bust your ass to get all these degrees, to start building this platform, to let some random white man be able to try to tell you how you should communicate and how you should express yourself. And you ain't even out of the parameters of your job. You know what I'm saying? You did what you're supposed to do. And because it was the white supremacy part, is out of everything I said, I made a video. Now I'm thinking debate mine. Like now I'm thinking like, man. So I communicated for 59 seconds. And the 59 seconds she want to respond to is this right here. Very telling, very telling. And it's just like at this time, I'm already starting to value my time, my effort, and my energy. And I'm already learning that we live in an attention economy. That's how I believe. That's how I see the world now. You feel me? I don't spend my money with everybody. You feel me? So I ain't finna spend my time and attention with everybody. I made the decision. I really had already made the decision. I wouldn't messing with them anyway. You feel me? But you know how, you know what I'm saying? It was good. It was amicably. You feel me? Y'all want me to come back? That's cool. I wasn't coming back anyway. I'm really a professor at heart. I like the academic freedom of being able to push the envelope, and I like to be able to teach. When I was at the high school, I felt like I was a test proctor, a probation officer. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, you know, it feel good. You know, I'm a country boy from down south. The white folks ain't gonna have their students. The white parents not gonna let their white kids go through metal detectors every single day. I'm teaching in COVID too. This is the first time I started teaching. I'm teaching in COVID. It's 2020. You feel me? The fact that I had to go through a metal detector to get in my classroom, and I look how I look, and the officer thought I was a student, and I seen how aggressive he was, and one of my colleagues had to say, "Oh no, he's a new hire. He's a teacher." It was just a lot of things that left a nasty taste in my mouth, and it was like, yeah, I ain't messing with this. And I just, you feel me? And being real, I learned so much about mental health doing in grad school from doing the HR degree. It was like I didn't even realize how much unresolved trauma I had from being in that environment. Cause you gotta think about it. After I graduated high school, should I shoot straight to Oklahoma? I'm talking about I graduated in May. I went and did like a little internship at a golf course that summertime, and then I ain't lived back in the hood ever since. You feel me? Being around students being around students that are how I was raised, man, it was so triggering. I'm going home days. I'm crying. I'm going home. I'm teaching in North Oklahoma City. You feel me? I got to go back to Norman. I live in Norman. Man, it was days, man. I'm talking about I cried. You feel me? Or days that my heart was so heavy that my students was going through so much, and I was realizing like, damn, man, this used to be you. You feel me? Or it's just like it was so much. It was so much to deal with every single day that it was just like, man, I can't, you know what I'm saying? People that do, I always say, really, I ain't like this, how I say, everybody working K through 12, especially you in, you know what I'm saying, any type of urban setting at all, you're doing the Lord's work because they ain't giving you no resources. They ain't giving you that, they ain't giving you the ones you need anyway. And it's just like, shit, you sent to go fight with, you know what I'm saying, Goliath, and they ain't even giving you a slingshot that David had. You feel me? They giving you, you know what I'm saying, a stick and a stick. do what you gonna do
Two
with
sticks.
it.
We'll
Like
rub
two
them
sticks.
together. Rub them together, make fire. Yeah.
Like what? Talking about what? Why the wind is blowing at 30 miles per hour? You know what I'm saying? That's really how you feel me. But Chris, I'm taking off though, and then the rest is kind of history.
What's so interesting about all this is that to teach is a political act. To teach as a Black man in the classroom has a compounded effect of the political act. And you just talked about like working through some of your own stuff that you are going on as you're trying to help others not have to work through something, right? Like, in their lives. And I think that's what burns people out. Because there are teachers in the United States who can just go in a classroom and just teach because they don't have all this compounding, right? They're not a Black male in the world. They're not a Black male teacher in the classroom. They're not a Black male teacher who's also looking at kids and seeing their future and wanting to make sure that there's these additional factors they don't want their kids to experience. That's a lot. That's a load. That's a cognitive load. That is a burden. And I don't think we talk about enough. Now, add on to all of that, this is something that Ish, me, and Sharif will know about, is add on top of all of that, you can get attacked for what you're doing in ways that's unchristian, right? Like, it's part of the job, right?
Yeah.
Your family, your house. Now, I wasn't a classroom teacher. I was a school board member. And there were times that I had to fear for my family, right?
Yeah,
there were things that,
I don't like that.
I don't like it either. And in Texas, I don't know if Texas like Minnesota, we're concealed carry states, right? It makes people like want to rethink.
Carry out here, man.
Are you really?
You don't even need to conceal that thing. You can have it out here. You know what I'm saying?
On your side.
On your side.
Just like a cowboy.
I'm laughing at you, X. I don't know about Texas. I'm like, what?
What? What you mean?
This was in the back of the window of the F-150. You know what I mean?
You go buy you a gallon of milk and then go buy you a pistol. You know what I'm saying? You can go, you know what I mean? You can go, swear to God, what? You can go get you some toothpaste and then go get you some bullets, man.
They say it with their chest. They ain't like the Minnesotians, you know what I mean? Like, let me put this under my big parka. You know what I mean? Like,
they don't have it on the hip. You feel me? You going to get some ice cream and the person standing in front of you got it on their hip.
They got vending machines out in that John, don't they?
Stop playing.
At the airport. Coming into Houston. Here you go, get your gun.
They be collecting assault rifles out here. You know what I'm saying?
I wanted to ask you about something else too, because I've made a lot about your platform. I've made a lot about like how you're reaching people and you're teaching people through your platform. And it's an extension. You just said 4 million people. I'm like, damn, that's Consciously University. Like you, like
hey, I got it on the way. I'm putting it back up right now.
Are you?
University, man,
yeah. That's what that is. I mean, that's enough of a following. That's a straight up university. But I think that limits the range of what I want to say about like what you do, is because as someone who has watched you and followed you as one of my core diet, like, my TikTok consumption, you are like in my algorithm. You can't get out my algorithm right now, right? And you have been for a long time. But it's like you go different places. Like you go, it's not one thing. You like have range. You've talked about intersectionality, and I've learned some stuff by listening to you frame it in a way that I can understand. And you had one. I don't, because Sharif and Ish will know why this is important to me. But you did one on gentle parenting, and I thought this Black man is talking about gentle parenting, and we've had like arguments and conversations on the show. We've also talked about how Black fathers are invisible and how nobody ever asks us about our parenting journey because they don't expect it to be part of our identity and all that. But when you did that thing around gentle parenting, I was just like thinking, man, this is first of all, it's an explosive topic. It's an explosive topic in Black world. Yeah, I would consider Sharif a gentle parent. I wouldn't consider myself one necessarily. I'm kind of semi.
I try to do conscious parenting. That's the days I try to call it. I'm conscious parenting. You know what I'm saying?
Say more about that. Like, how did that come to be a topic for you? What did you learn about it? And this is just out of interest. I'm just interested because that one stuck with me. That video, that TikTok stuck with me. So tell me more about it now that I got you here.
Yeah, Chris has been on a long journey.
I have been.
Parent for how many decades now?
Since the 90s. As a matter of fact, I got one, the one who's supposed to be here today with us is actually 6 days older than you, Consciously. He was born, in December the 16th, same year. Yeah. So that's how long I've been a parent. So.
Yeah. Man, debate turned me out. Debate turned me out. I think that me becoming a parent made me start to question a lot of the ways that I was brought up. And because I went to grad school and I learned so much in like learning about the DSM and learning about child development and learning about trauma and learning about long-term impacts of spankings, and then thinking about how I grew up in the politics of, is there a difference between beating and spanking? In the Black community, we'll be like, nah, I ain't just, you feel me? But then, you know what I mean? I feel like I started to be more philosophical about how I orient myself towards kids as humans. And then it started being able to ask myself a little small stuff, you feel me? If they too young to know, why hit them? And if they are old enough to know, then why hit them? And then thinking about like, okay, so in any other facet of life, if I get frustrated or somebody ain't listening to me, it is not okay to hit a person. You know what I'm saying? In no facet of life, it's assault. Literally, it's like literally, you weren't listening. You didn't. It's literally, you feel me? It's assault. You know what I'm saying? But also, what turned me out was the Stacey Patton spare the child. Having conversations about the history of the rituals of how we whoop kids, thinking about where it comes from, and then me getting more into like my Pan-African bag and starting to think kind of when I was younger, I felt like I was a Diet Hotep. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't all the way there, but I was there. You feel me? In my Diet Hotep days, I really was leaning into what does it mean to reorient myself to the world from like a pro-African humanity way, you know? And as a result, I thought differently about how we bring up kids, and I thought differently about how I was brought up to say, man, I got whoopings, and I turned out good. And I started thinking, well, Mr. Lee, you. Not only do you have ADHD, you have a lot to process when it comes to your emotions, because you were taught at a very early age there were certain emotions that you show it warrant ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? Because it was seen as talking back, or it was seen as X, Y, and Z. So as an adult, I'm a 33-year-old man. I'm a 33-year-old man. You feel me? When I'm communicating with my wife or communicating, you know what I'm saying, with my kids, I'm knowing now that when I'm triggered, I'm still working through 13-year-old Lee, 12-year-old Lee, 8-year-old Lee. And it come out when I'm dealing with my kids. You feel me? So for me, it's like, I think that if for me, it's like if you a man listening to this and you want to have kids, I would recommend going to therapy before you get kids. If you have kids right now and you're not in therapy, I recommend you going to therapy, because it's gonna be things that you're gonna get blindsided and ambushed by that you didn't even realize you was holding back, or you didn't realize you was carrying, you didn't realize you had buried deep down. And it's gonna come out in the most crazy way. And you never want to hurt, you know what I'm saying, nobody, in emotionally or physically or spiritually, in terms of who you trying to cultivate, in terms of being human beings and being good people. And shit, the gentle parenting made me think about what it means to be gentle with my kids, and what it means to love my kids, and what it means for me to think about how I always felt like I was messing up. You know, when you got ADHD, you already feel like you already on the cuffs of messing up and doing something bad. And as a result, you feel me, and make it where you always kind of impulsively feeling like you're in trouble all the time. I don't want my kids to feel like that. You feel me? And
I
it's just
felt that
like
way for years too. Not just saying that's triggering. I felt that way for years myself. I mean, there were times when I'd walk out a store, and before I would walk out, before I'd go through the metal detectors, I'd be like, "No, I didn't steal nothing, did I?" Right now, I'm not a thief, but you know, I'm checking my bag and thinking mentally, I'm thinking this is going to go off, and I'm going to be embarrassed. Why do I have that in my head? You know, what did I learn somewhere along the line where I'm even thinking about if that sound goes off? You know, it means something. I don't steal. It's not me. This is also that. Thank you, first of all. Thank you for that, because I feel like you never know how you're teaching. Like I remember this TikTok, right, for a reason, right? Man, listen, I saw Toure interviewing somebody who was an anti-spanking person, and he said to her, "You know, a lot of Black people are going to hear you talking, and they're going to think that's some white stuff." And she said, "There's nothing whiter than beating your children."
The person that said that was Stacey Patton. The person that said that is Stacey Patton, and she the one that wrote the book called Spare the Child.
Yeah.
The book title is called Spare the Child. Her name is Dr. Stacey Patton, and she did the research in genealogy around rituals when it comes to disciplining our children.
that was such a crazy turnaround. She turned it around on him real quick. Yeah.
Hey, in debate, we call that a link turn. In debate, it's called a link turn. You feel me?
Link turn.
You said it linked
y'all,
to me.
I'm finna be link turning all y'all Negroes later.
You like, no link actually links more to you, but it makes it a link turn. It's like, nah, it's actually y'all doing the white shit, not me. You feel me? It's like, you know.
Well, listen, you just said something about it would never be acceptable for you to just hit somebody because you got frustrated with them. But I did watch your content when you went to like a Trump rally, and
I was ready to pop out. Hey, bro, probably would have kicked my ass though. He was a little bigger. But I'm a country boy, so it's like, you know what I'm saying, learning how to take an ass whooping was probably one of the first lessons I took. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't tripping on that at all. You feel me? But definitely I was heated. You know what I'm saying? But
you're talking about the dude who was like a ex-convict for Trump.
I was heated with him though. I was so heated. Yes. Just like, bro. Yeah. But what it is too, having a conversation with y'all, I was triggered. I was triggered because it was like you trying to use your body and your bravado and your masculinity in a way where you trying to play me. And I'm a grown-ass man like you is. And the young me ain't gonna go in for this shit. And the grown me definitely ain't going for this. You wrong. I don't give a damn how loud you holler. You're wrong. And because you think you're right, I will intellectually beat the brakes off of you. When you come to Texas, I'm gonna get you some. I told him, when you come to Texas, I'm gonna get you some Cajun turkey necks and some crawfish, and I'm gonna whoop your ass in that debate. And then I'm gonna send you back, and you can go back to sucking on them crawfish and that turkey necks, and you can think about all the stupid things you said and how I showed you was wrong. Because he had me so annoyed that now it's like, now I wanna give you that intellectual monster because you really pseudo right now, and you telling me you ain't even answering no questions, man. You're not answering none of my questions, and you saying half truths, and it's like, bro, like we in Chicago, the city that is sensationalized for being the place of anti-Black irrational violence. Anytime a conservative, anytime a Trumpster want to be able to talk about the irrational Negroes with guns, they're gonna talk about Chicago. Now you telling me, man, I got more experience, this, that, and the other. All right, bro, let's play that game. You born and raised in Chicago. You ain't never lived under a Republican regime. I'm born and raised in Texas. My city I'm born and raised in was, you don't know what you're talking. I have more experience talking to the Republican regime and the experiences politically, socially, economically than you do. Based off, folks, you was in the streets, you was, you know what I'm saying, whatever, you know what I mean? But your personal experience doesn't negate data. Your personal experience doesn't negate patterns. If you see a flamingo and you say, or peacock or something, and you say, well, the birds I experienced don't fly. That don't mean birds don't fly, bro. And you can't universalize your experience of only seeing this type of bird and being like, well, no, you feel. I was so annoyed, but I'm being annoyed now again. My bad. I should ask. I was just like,
no, I think this is interesting. And Sharif and Ish, he was doing man on the street type of interviews.
I didn't see that one. I saw the parent one, and matter of fact, it got me triggered, but I didn't see it. I got to look this one.
No,
this was recently from DNC. I went to the Democratic National Convention.
Chris is the oldest person on TikTok. You know what I mean? The rest of us are like on the IG, Facebook.
Listen. Don't hate me because I'm a trendsetter. Don't hate me because I'm a trendsetter.
What are you doing on TikTok? You know what I mean? He's like, yo, did you? I'm like, no, I didn't see it. I'm not on TikTok.
I just want you to know, Sharif. I just want you to know, as an elder TikToker, I made 3 TikToks in the last 24 hours. So you should go. You should go check it out. You should go check me out. So you need to go check me out because I feel like I give some good commentary.
Hey, TikTok revolutionized social media, man.
That's why they want to shut it down. That's why they want to shut it down. They want to.
And it revolutionized it in more ways than some. It revolutionized it from how we consume. Like we gonna forever consume social media differently because of TikTok and the For You page. We also, consume TikTok differently because now we get real raw time news all the time from all over the world. And every time you click post, the algorithm's gonna make it where the majority of the people that see your content is gonna be a new audience always. And that's what revolutionized it. On Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, 9 times out of 10, the page that's curated for you is based off people that you follow. That For You page is based more in an algorithm calculation about what you may be interested in. It's gonna send you a whole bunch of shit. It's 9 times out of 10 gonna see people you don't even follow. You feel me? So now you're getting into like a cacophony of knowledge or a cacophony, an echo chamber of BS. You know what I'm saying? It depends. You feel me? I ain't gonna cap. Like, it ain't all good over there. But I think that if you are a person that like knows how to check the facts and you have a thirst for knowledge, TikTok got something for you. I'm like, they got a side for everything. Like, you into that? You into cats? They got cat TikTok. You into apocalypse? They got TikTok. You into talking about the Bible and theology? They got that on TikTok. You into talking about the ins and outs of the manufacturing of food and how food is bad and all the. I'm talking about, and now TikTok now has to me like authority and expertise. When I first got on TikTok in 2019, the reason why I was able to take off so quickly because everybody was still dancing, making comedy. I was one of the first people on TikTok to start talking about social issues. So my platform took off. In the very beginning, I was damn near seen like a mini expert on everything until that overnight blast happened. And then you start having real specialized experts get on the app. So now it's like, yeah, consciously, he's very intersectional, interdisciplinary, and he has a lot of knowledge. I feel like a cool amount of knowledge on a lot of different shit, but he ain't got nothing that he's just super big on outside of like race, intersectionality, you know what I'm saying, power domination. Now on TikTok, you got people that's like, you got like lawyers. You got OBGYNs. You got real like you got real scholars and theologists over there. You feel me? So now you can really get into like the keynote speakers, but the book behind you right there. You got behind you talking about them people like it's there, man. Everything over there. I promise it is.
It could be like a school in a way because all those people you just mentioned are in my algorithm now. So when I'm like scrolling, I'm doom scrolling. I'm not really doom scrolling. I'm smart scrolling because people are telling me things I didn't know. And they're referencing things. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to go check that out. Well, every time I say, oh, I'm going to go check that out, I get smarter about something.
Oh, God.
And you know what? There are issues that I care about and I think about, but it's nice to go watch people exercise the issue I'm talking about. You have one that you've been exercising a little bit. The idea that Black men are going to abandon Kamala Harris and vote for Trump, and the lots of conversation that's being had about Black men going to Trump, that is, whether that's true or not, that is opening up all the stereotypes about Black men that people feel free to say. Like, we're dumb, we don't know what we're talking about, we're this, we're that, the other. So it's nice to be able to go on TikTok and see some people exercise it for me because I'm tired. I'm just tired. The discussion makes me tired. It's nice to see other people pull that one out. But what do you think about that? What have you learned that one? Because you've been following that thread and you've jumped in on it a couple of times. I can't locate you either on this. I feel like you're not a Democrat loyalist. You're not a religious Democrat at all. You're definitely not a Trumpster. So you exist somewhere in the spectrum of activity. So
yeah, man. Listen, man. I like to think about it, man. I'm really like a Black independent. And at the core, I just want political, social, economic independence for Black people. I don't trust that either party really want that for Black people. But I do understand that I got to mitigate the harm and mitigate the way I'm able to survive in this world. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, based off the data that I have, I'm going to get a little graphic, but it's like, hey, both of they shit stink. I think the Republican shit just stink more.
A lot more.
So you know what I'm saying? For me, it's like when it comes to like movement, like building, it's like, I know that regardless of who wins or who loses, Black people will disproportionately be put under the law. And no matter who wins or who loses, that we still have to abide by the laws, policy, legislations that's passed. So for me, it's like, what does it look like for me to be able to contribute or influence how that happens? And what does it look like for when these policymakers get ready to pass a bill, veto a bill, write a bill? I want them to be able to remember faces and voices like mine when they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's where I'm at. You feel me? I'm really somewhere in between. You feel me? I am somewhere in between. You know what I mean? Because they somewhere in between with Black people, and I'm gonna prioritize for me like Black people first.
I feel like you're on the right podcast. I feel like you're on the right podcast.
Yeah, I just thought they don't do it.
This is your home. Well, listen, I know we got to wrap at this moment, but Ish and Sharif, final reflections on the conversation. I feel like this was very useful for our audience and for what we're talking about. But what are y'all final reflection?
Yo, no, I love this. I mean, three things. One, thanks for coming on, bro. Like, I follow you on the IG, and it's, it's. My mom used to say, like, everywhere should be a classroom for people, right? And you've taken this and literally made it a classroom, which I just think, I just think is important. Seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave, and this is a part of the journey from the cradle to the grave. Another thing that really stuck out to me was like the loud learner. And, twice I got emotional during this episode. One, when you said that, because I thought about all of the Black youth, youth period, who might be loud learners, and just like what they suffered from that. They didn't have, you mentioned you had a couple teachers that recognized you and saw you and saw your brilliance. And I just think about how much lost potential because the kid was a loud learner, and it don't matter. They could be a quiet learner and still get the same butchery. But, like particularly the loud learners and what they go through in 13 years, if they last that long, in the system. And the other time I was getting emotional when you were just talking about the beating piece. We've talked about this a lot over the years. Like it's just, I didn't experience that. And so when I hear about it or when I see it, even still, like a 3-year-old getting jacked up in the supermarket, it triggers me for a different reason, So I just appreciate, just the depth that you have, because I'm one of the folks who, for social media, I was like, whatever, because I think I first saw it when people just dancing, and I'm like, yo, education over entertainment. Like that was how we grew up. You know what I mean? We just grew up in that way. So I'm usually like poo-pooing anything that looks too occupied with entertainment. I'm like, I want to be entertained, but like not like at the deficit of, at the detriment of everything else. But the way that you've approached it, which is like, I've been entertained this entire time, besides the time you triggered my emotions, what I mean? Like, but it was entertaining. No, that's part of learning. That's part of education too. You know what I mean? So just grateful. Oh, and the last thing, Chris, you need to have him on the father panel at the convening, because I think that piece, because there's a lot of Black men who subscribe to the I'm okay, and I usually look at them and say, but you're really not.
I know I'm not okay.
That's right.
I'm like, the fact that you're saying that you're going to do this to this child means that you're actually not. Yeah. My friend called me the other day like, yo, my kid lied about something that happened in school. Should I beat him? I'm like, remind me how old he is. He's like, he's 8. I'm like, so picture an 8-year. I'm like, what are you talking? Why are we having this conversation?
He's a child, not a slave.
Yeah. So,
and do you get your ass beat every time you lie? Because you lying. who gonna whoop your ass? So who gonna do it? Or only kids deserve ass whoopers when they lie.
I should go over there and slide him right now, because I think he lied the other day. You know what I mean?
There'd be a whole bunch of battered adults if every time you lied you got beat. So Ish, what are you saying as we wrap, brother?
Yeah, I just gotta say, bro, I really appreciate everything you shared, man. And like, we need more folks out there really doing this work, right? We're in these times right now, and I already can tell that you clear on that and you speaking that truth. So like, I hope that I get a chance to meet you in person. Like, I won't be geeking, but like, mad respect for what you're doing right now.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
And I just want to say that, what you went through, even when you started to like step in that classroom and do work that most folks are running away from, and then you seeing that and still getting attacked and still, speaking that truth and not backing down. It's just salute, man. Mad respect. And I look forward to following you. This is the first time I met you or heard about you. So I'm going to put my boys on too. I got 4 sons, so I'm going to see what they're going to say, because they always like to talk smack on the stuff I show them.
We'll see, man. Hopefully I can pass the litmus test, man. That's what we try to get past, the litmus test, man. Try to get past the litmus test. My motto is education is elevation, research over me search. The Consciously on all social media platforms, theconsciously.com. If you're looking to book me for any type of consulting, I do workshop facilitations for, soft skills, DEI, keynotes, all that. Really, man, it's fun to inspire, educate, edify, man. You know what I mean? The ease, bro. Try to get the ease in and shit, how I feel. I love education so much that I know I'm an acquired taste. I know some people might taste me and spit me out because like, I don't like that. I just hope that no matter how you feel about me, you love education and you recognize that there's a multiplicity of educators. They got different teaching styles and different learning methods. And maybe my teaching style don't fit your learning method. That's okay. That's fine. That's completely fine. But there's an educator out there for you. Maybe I'm not that person for you. That's cool. But there's an educator out there for you. You feel me? And I pray and hope that everybody's able to find the educators for them, that you can feel better about yourself and feel about the world, or learn more about yourself and learn more about the world. And that's really just like, it's just that simple for me.
Appreciate it all, brothers. We will all stay in touch, and people listening and watching, be in touch. And if you didn't get Conscious Glee's info there, contact us. We will connect. We love to connect people and weave people together and make sure that we have a movement and a network of folks that are doing great things for our youth and for our young people. This has been another episode of Freedom Friday, and you are still not free, but hopefully you are freer after this hour with Ish, Sharif, Conscious Lee, and me. And we will see you on the next episode. Peace.
Peace.